Well, cheers. It's been a long time since we had one of these mail days. I know it wasn't one last week, I think. Didn't have anything in, or if I did have one, it slipped my mind. I know it was short, like one single release. So, got a couple of things here. So, cheers. This will be a little bit longer, but let's go ahead and we'll start off with this thing I got from Walmart. Just went ahead and picked up because a lot of these movies I did not have on DVD. It's a Canon Films 5-film collection. This is Cobra, Hitman, Bloodsport, Masters of the Universe, and what's the other one? Over the Top. I don't know why I can't, because I've never seen Over the Top. I know it's a Stallone movie, I just never managed to have seen it. And all these movies are great. Well, besides, I can't vouch for Over the Top, but I'm assuming it is. Everything else I have seen. I just love old fucking action films. And they don't really make them like this anymore. But it was $7.50, and especially since I didn't have any of these already, great purchase for me. So, boom. Next up, this is from eBay. It's been a while since I bought from there. Still trying to find a camera for my second channel. One that's not like $100. But I went ahead and got Chivalry 2. It's a medieval first person, not battle royale, but first person fucking just beat 'em up, so to speak. I think it's a lot more multiplayer. I'm not quite sure, but my friend Nick, that I do multiple bands with, he's been playing it since he's recovering from an injury, and he was like, "You need to go ahead and get it." I was like, "You know what? Fuck it. Oh well, I will." Went ahead and bought it on eBay for $10. And that was like including the shipping. It has a punch code like how old promo copies of CDs used to come that were sent out for like review and for radio play and whatnot. So I'm going to just check inside this real quick just to make sure there is a disc in here and not some burned. Nope. Actual proper CD or disc or whatever. So cool. Just wanted to make sure of that. I might actually try this out today. I'm home a little bit earlier than normal, and only got a few things I want to do as far as mixing and mastering, but I might save it for the weekend. Why is everything half in French as well? Hope that doesn't mean like I'm not going to be able to play it on mine, because it has both English and French on here, but that might be how all of them are. I don't know. Nothing else is $10. I don't get so worked up as I used to for that little. Now this big bastard here, you might have recognized the packaging, but this is from Speed Ritual Records. This is a bunch of the new releases, and I think I got a couple of restocks of the old stuff that I needed for myself. So let's try to take those out. Like this, the second album for Quivagancy, the one that's the double Q that I decided to make just so I can have a band that had Q in it. I'm gonna start writing some more material for this band. I put it off for a while just because the way I wanted to present it was like, here, each track comes out per week, and then I go ahead and on the final track that completes the album, then the CD's up for sale. I had somebody like bitching because he was buying each track individually, even though I had them set up for free to download. Just listen. Wait till the fucking last one. And I was like, you could have just waited. Whatever. You know, if you're going to bitch about it, then don't fucking buy it. Whatever. So after the second album, I stopped. I've been wanting to get back to it. Had so much other stuff coming out. And now I'm working on. So now I'm putting it back on my docket to take care of. Also had to get some more of the Cave 2 albums since Cave 3 came out. I've been having people wanting to purchase the earlier albums now, which I really greatly appreciate. Appreciate Centipede Abyss for putting out Cave 3. Cave 4 will come out on Centipede Abyss as well. And then maybe sometime much further down the line, I might do some sort of remaster and put them out, or as a compilation type thing. I don't really know. Knowing how I want to do stuff, or how I like to do compilations of my older material, I'm not to the point where I'm focused on that. I'm still striving to create new material. But so that's Cave 2. And I think, yeah. Well, for some reason I went and ordered another copy of this I'll Equip. This is the Collection 2. I have the other, like Collection 3 and Collection 4 ready to go, so I can press the CDs. I just haven't uploaded that to my to get it pressed, basically. So I really enjoy this band. I've been trying to get back to doing it more often, like I was, where it was like every 2 weeks or so, because I've done like 27 individual EPs that I could consider EPs, and then with this Macro Aggressions, which are all going to build up to be a one full album. That's going to be 16 tracks, and I've only just released 8 this week. So hopefully I might do that tomorrow, work on the next Macro Aggression 9, and I want to finish that out definitely before the end of the year, but I want to definitely get that out, then go back to my normal doing the longer EPs of like 4 to 9 minutes. Because I have so much saved up artwork for that type of shit. Now, what we have here, and I had to get a couple of more Flittering, Conjuring Vial. I think I only have a few more copies left. And when I say when I order, because I'm ordering now to as I need, basically, instead of ordering the entire session, just to conserve money at this point and space. Even though now, since I've moved to a new studio space, yes, Ollie Bear, I can actually have space to store all the CDs themselves. So I might go ahead and finish out, because I think there's only like a few more, whatever. There's different shit that I don't really want to get into. But on a different note, I'm also working on the next Flittering album. I'm 5 or 6 songs in. It's going to be probably 8 or 9 songs, depending on what these next ones are going to be as I write them. You know, I'm not planning out anything. Everything right now is around 4 to a little bit over 3 minutes, and I'm treating them more like more similar to Portal's Ion, and it's kind of similar to the very first Flittering album. So I hope that works out. I really did enjoy doing Conjuring Vial. I know Nick played leads on this one. I probably won't have him playing leads on this one coming up, because, like I said, he's recovering from an injury. And then we can move on from there. So here's all the brand new shit. We have Oral Techniques, Deep End. I absolutely love this fucking album. I love writing it and putting it together. Uh, it did expand on the first one, which I thought sounded a lot more like Dial or other Robotic Empire type bands, like maybe the Now. And this one is far more just like noise rock, heavy influence from Insane. While when I started writing this one, or got motivated to write this one, I was listening to, like, I had finally bought, I think, 4 or 5 of the other Insane albums I hadn't gotten, like the earlier shit, like with the Lincoln Continental with blood all over it, and a couple of the compilations that they had, because I have a lot of Insane albums already. I just didn't have everything. I completed out the collection on CD, so I was listening to all that, especially going down to work for Destin, and I put this together. I actually wrote 2 albums, but I was debating if I was going to split them up, because I think there was a week in between, whereas like I wrote this one really fast, put it together, I was like, okay, this is cool, zip it up, and then I was like, nah, I still got some more ideas, continue on, wrote an entire another album, and I almost put them all together, but I think that would have been like an almost 80-minute long album, and it might have had one track that's off that I'd had to pull off to the side for something else. I didn't really want to do that because it didn't feel right. This feels like a proper album. And the other one, I haven't finished mixing it. I did all the vocals, but that, you know, each one they felt as a proper only album. And this was, fuck, what was it? Yeah, just last year. And I started writing another album this year, but it's like I got one song done. I might do another one. You know, I'm a little bit more slower with this. It's like if it hits me at the time, I'll go ahead and do it. Next up in this, is Coast Trash, Homebound. So, Coast Trash is one of my hardcore, more on the beat down side of things. Probably kind of similar to Knocked Loose, Zilbalba, but not as death metal by any means, of either of those bands nowadays, or Blood for Blood. I had a couple of these songs already done. Oh wow, I fucked up where it says buy track on here. Oh, I'm fucking stupid. Oh well. 30 copies of this shit. Whatever. But put this album together, had a few tracks already, and I finished it up in December because I really wanted another Coast Trash record. I'm going to start writing another one. I've been kind of antsy to do so, but I might do a Waste Management 81 beforehand. This came out to be, you know, quite a fucking beast. It's still like sub 20 minutes, but it's a pretty fierce fucking 20 minutes. The back of the cover. Try to make it look kind of nice and aesthetic. Almost like something that, what was it, Coconut Dave would have for his fucking artwork. You know, just color-wise and presentation with some high contrast. Like, oh, it might be some fucking, you know, like steel drum or fucking Jimmy Buffett style shit. But it's not. So, next up, and let's go to actually one of these other ones that are older. Older meaning like I released, I think, this back earlier this year. This is a Night Call, Once Inside. Really happy with how this album came out. It sounded really fucking awesome. If you really liked Evaporated Sores, Um, Basically, is evaporated source without the power electronics and more in a doomy and more kind of hardcore-esque, like, because Mayer is a big influence for me on this band project. And probably again in December I'll release another one. I don't know if I ordered Dark. Yeah, I already have Dark House, the album I did, or the EP I did previously. So big crush, but in December I'll plan on writing another one. That's on my docket to do. And like before, here's some Hans Assmann. You should have known better. 4-song EP. This one is a little less inspired by employer-employee. It's still got weird, like, chaotic core, a little bit of examination of the, but not as atmospheric. Maybe their first one. A little bit drag body to it. But wrote and recorded in one day, which is how I kind of want to do this band project, whatever. I was planning on making it longer, but the mix of the album, or not really the mix, like the guitars that I used on, not the guitars, but the head that I used, it didn't mesh well with what I wanted it to sound like, but I think it sounds more similar to some very early of the chaotic metalcore, like the stuff that was not fucking melodic garbage, but some of the stuff like not The Promise, but I'm trying to think of where it's like almost like this mushy, bullshitty sounding demo, but that's part of the charm of it. So I still liked what I ended up putting out for it, but the next one I'm gonna revert to a different setup, and that's the whole thing, just experiment. Almost like if Kid Gorgeous was doing like shitty demos or something like that. Well, that's a band I haven't thought of in a while. Next up, turn. We have Mark, Mike, and Morand. And I forgot what I called this motherfucker. Oh, it's self-titled, that's right. So, this is a 4-song EP that me and 2 of my friends, which, of course, Mark and Mike, wrote. We planned on doing a hell of a lot more than just these 4 songs. These 4 songs were originally meant to be just like a working demo, like, okay, let's take a, we recorded it live. I had everything broken up so I could go back and mix it down and whatnot and send a good, decent, proper working demo for everyone so they can decide if they wanted to change their parts up. We did have some vocals on 2 of the songs because I was going to do vocals and drums. And after this one time, we never got back together to practice or do anything. I know Mark moved up to Hattiesburg or to New Orleans. He moved, let's put it that way. Mike is also extremely busy with his job and whatnot. And that's all I gotta say. It's like chaotic metalcore type stuff. I mean, kind of similar a little bit to Plebeian Grandstand in parts. Maybe Black Arrows of Filth and Impurity. It's kind of hard to place down because we were still working on our sound at the time. We weren't really going for anything. It was just like what was coming out. and we got at least these 4 songs down. I came across the recording. I went back and took the guitars, because at least I saved the DI of that, and I reamped it to 2 different heads, mixed those down and panned them. I mean, it's still just one guitar, but it sounds a lot thicker, a lot better. You know, bass was fucking solid. Drums, I had moved down to just using 2 of the 2 toms. It worked out really fucking good. It came out a lot better than I thought. And so I was happy to preserve this, basically. And that's what I've also been doing with some of my other stuff that I've been putting out on Speed Ritual right now that's digital, like By the Horns, which is a 1 song EP, and it's going to be the only one release for that. It was the last recording session between me and my friend Anderson, and you know, it just took me this long to get around to it, finding it again, going like, oh yeah, fuck, I'm glad that I still have this. Let me go ahead and mix this down and put it out there. If anyone likes it, that's great. If they don't, you know, who cares? But so there's that. And this is the, besides what I just talked about with By the Horns, the latest new band I started or decided to do for no other reason besides I was listening to Wendigo's dissertation about kudzu and how it ate the South, like 48-minute long video. You know, I know kudzu. It is fucking how it is and whatnot. So I started developing an idea for, you know, I might do a short EP for it. Maybe I'd do 3 songs and put that out there, and then it kept on going more and more, and things kept on getting slower and slower. So it came out with this sludge, doom, death material, and you know, that's all I gotta say about that. I'm really happy with how it came out. I don't know if too many people cared about it. I know I had a few people buy it, and that's cool, and I appreciate that. And what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 6 songs. I thought I did 5, but yeah, 6 songs. Death doom, if you really like if Grief had death metal vocals, it's kind of similar to that, I guess you could say. And I will probably definitely do another album before the year's out, but I got a whole list of other things I want to do as far as my other projects, you know, working on them, and the other stuff I have kind of like scheduled, like I talked about K4. I'm gonna be working and writing on that, so it has a release next year. Vertebrae Fetish Totem. I have to do vocals for Ange de la Mort, the album that I wrote back in fucking 2019. And that's how I do a lot of things, where it's like, oh, I track albums, get all the music done, and then whenever I feel like finishing the vocals, or if I'm not motivated at that time to do the lyrics or vocals, especially if I have something that, you know, it might be a time sensitive, as in like when I hear a new one of my own albums, say like with Evaporated Sores, when it finally came out, I was like, you know, I ain't listened to this since I fucking mixed everything down, or since I didn't mix it down, but since I approved of the mixes and the masters of everything. That was the last time I listened to it, because I like to be surprised on the proper release date of the physical copy. And when I was listening to it, it's like, damn, this is awesome. I'm ready to do some more. Then I fucking crank out another fucking album, or another, you know, however many more. Like right now, Evaporated Sores, we have a new album that's ready to go. We have a split that's never come to fruition, because the guy in human failure has, well, became a human failure. I mean, he didn't finish his part, so who cares? But, that's kind of like how I work. I get inspired, I want to do stuff, and if I'm really inspired, like with Kudzu, I think that came together within 1 week, or let's say a week and a half, because I had to finish up all the vocals, but it was really almost like 6 days. It was just like tail end of one to the next, and then a little bit more doing all the mix and master and putting shit together. That's how I work. If I'm inspired, I want to tackle it, I want to get it done, I do that. I got some other stuff ready to go to be released. I'm going to do this 3-way split of all my bands. Not all my bands, but because I recorded 3 songs for Terror Trance, Intrusion Madness. I had to actively think about the fucking name. I did 3 songs that planned on being a longer EP. Also a band that I want to do as in like what I'm doing that day. That's the fucking end of the EP. Like so many of these bands that do live recording demos and stuff, like Prisoner of War I listened to. There's like 3 songs, 4 minutes. That's fucking solid. So I did these 3 songs because I planned on it being longer. I don't think it was long enough to be a standard EP compared to the other 2. But it's long enough to, I was like, oh, I could put it with Shokuku Gukan, the tentacle bullshit. I had, I think it's 7 songs of that were saved over from a 4-way split on a 7-inch that I was kicked off of because I run my mouth too much and make fun of people. So I was like, okay, I'll put those 2 together because they're about equal in length. And then I was like, oh yes, I have these fucking 3 songs. I mean, these 2 songs from old band I was involved with, and we talked about calling it Broomstick because out of the 5 people that were in the band, only me, the vocalist at that time, the guitarist, and the drummer showed up. The second guitarist was like, I'm not going to be there. Whatever. It's not important if I actually track my parts. His parts were the parts that the other guitarist wrote, so who gives a shit? And so guitarist tracked both guitars and the bass. Drummer did his, I did mine. We had them set aside for a split 7-inch with Fistula. Never happened. The band ended up dissolving due to circumstances. I don't feel like getting into that unless, maybe a different video, different time, if I want to talk about bands I've been in or some shit like that. But I still had the recordings for them, so it's going to be a 3-way split. Put these on because I'll never do anything else with those 2 guys again. Not because I don't want to, it's just impractical. Both just talking with him, like one of them I'm not even friends with anymore, or I talked to because he was only really friends with me for business purposes and band purposes. That's fine, cool with that. No bad blood. Other guy moved away and he's busy. He's working on his other bands. That's cool. I mean, if he wants to do something else, but I don't think he has any recording gear, which is weird to me. If you got the amount of gear that he has, like, that's almost comparable to mine. I mean, you gotta have some fucking... And being a multi-instrumentalist at that, being able to play guitar, and if you play guitar, you can play bass. It might not be the best, like a normal bassist, but you could fucking fill it out and play, and he plays drums. It's like, if you do all those 3 of those, I mean, you can work on a fucking vocalist or work on your own fucking vocals after the fact. Anyway, that's a totally different tangent. Some people tackle music completely different. So, all 3 of those will be on a single 3-way split that I'm going to put up hopefully tonight. If not, it's going to be within this week, in the next 3 or 4 days. I'll upload it to YouTube, and I'm going to upload the other stuff that I haven't yet put up. I don't know if I made videos for, like, Kuzu yet. I know I did Coast Trash. I know I did most of those right there. But, like, I know I didn't do one for By the Horns or the new All Equip and whatnot. So I'm going to do all that. And get some more CDs ready to get pressed. Because I've been working on layouts and shit. And, times are tough, but I'm tough to deal with the times. Appreciate it, and cheers. No, my back just died.